I think human beings basically are good. Our nature is to be kind, to love, to be helpful towards each other. But I think just people's interactions with each other can change how we are and make us hateful or rude or abusive or disrespectful and not be the way that we should be. My name is Leland Madrid. I had first got incarcerated when I was 11. I'd been through probably 7 different treatment centers, multiple group homes and foster homes, and 4 or 5 different detention centers.
My parents are very, very, very religious. We had rules, literally for everything. Everything. When I was 14, I got in trouble, and my dad wouldn't pick me up from the police station, so that's how it all started. Then from 14 to 16, I was in and out of foster homes. I would run away all the time. I just didn't want to listen to rules, didn't want to listen to anybody's reason.
So these are incarcerated kids that have done a lot of bad things, that don't know how to do it any other way. And they are not open arms looking for us to help them at all. They look at us as, oh, you're just one more person, that's going to reject me.
Third Way is not just a treatment center for children who have mental illnesses and who are homeless and who are disadvantaged. Third Way is a very complicated place. The kids that come through these doors, we offer them just a new way to see what is the truth about themselves.
So Dee came to us when she was 17. You could see visible scars on her arms, all over her arms, and all over her legs. We had to go so far as to not even use staples anywhere on the Lowry campus because she would take those and use them and open up an old cut. So we had to find out a lot about what had happened to Dee when she was a younger child.
The first step of the process is the collection of history. You must know as much about that person as it is possible to know about that person. How did this child become the way he is?
And then we did end up finding Mom. She was actually living in a nursing home in Kansas. Mom was a double amputee and was very invested in being sick and having other people take care of her. And we found out from her brother, they really had to care for Mom. While they were growing up, they had to play nurse.
But the trauma too, it seemed like as Mom was an amputee, she would saw sort of on her legs and her arms, kind of in a way that was sort of similar to Mom's injuries.
After we collect all this data, then we engage in really a process that we have labeled 6 boxes. You begin with recognizing that your behavior is not profitable to you.
I was really my own worst enemy. I just put myself in a lot of situations where it could have turned out that I got raped or killed.
When I started getting into middle school, I started being defiant.
I ended up dropping out of high school.
Being aggressive and abusive.
I was failing my drug tests. And
at the time, I didn't really know why I was doing it.
We truly believe that no one screws up their life on purpose. Some imperative deep inside him makes him act that way. So my empathy becomes the conduit for you then to be able to get into box 2, which is what feelings do you experience at the time when you do this?
I really felt alone and depressed all the time, and no matter how hard I tried or how good I was, that I would always get hurt and people would hate me, and I was a terrible kid.
And he started kind of recognizing that he really didn't like his behavior so much and that it was getting him into trouble and keeping him from doing what he needed to do, I think was when he started talking about what it was that probably was the trauma.
I think I was about 6 when my stepdad had one of his friends and his wife babysit me. They were abusing me sexually and physically pretty much every day. I think that was the point in my life where everything changed, where I just felt like nobody cared at all in the world. I felt like no matter what I did, it wouldn't matter.
Box 3 is the recognition of the trauma. It's the recognition of what happened to me that made me feel this way, that makes me act that way.
There was some other stuff that I had forgotten about from my past that when I remembered it, it all just everything kind of came together, like why I was so angry.
We've known about trauma causing bad feelings, causing bad behavior. We've known that for hundreds of years. What we've discovered that for our kids, just knowing what is wrong with you doesn't make them better. They actually have to find some justice for themselves. We had a child who was brought to me in shackles, hands and feet, and 2 policemen. And I say, "What are you so mad at, little dude?" And he said, "Because you're a fucking old bitch." And I said, "Besides that, why are you mad?" And he said, "I want to go and piss on my father's grave." And they told me I couldn't do that. That was illegal. Now, mind you, his father was a convicted sex offender against him and who actually had been sent to jail. It wasn't enough for him. Now, it seems silly to me to piss on someone's grave and say that you're going to feel better, but he then was able to move forward from that. It loosened him up to talk about his rage that had been in him all this long time and how much better he felt about that. He had showed his father. Restorative justice is the restorative justice of the child to whom that happened to, not the adult.
I think that I changed how I thought and felt around the time that I realized that people actually were listening to what I was saying. It just kind of clicked. And I was like, I don't want to live like this forever. This is not who I am.
Third Way was definitely my changing point. I felt it was really the place where I began my life again, like where I had a chance to stand on my own 2 feet, take care of myself, and move on with my life. It's made me who I am.
Now, I'm married and I have 3 kids. They're all really good, smart, respectful kids. I think it's good that I'm defiant and rebellious even as an adult. Instead of using it to cause myself harm, I actually use it for success, and now I'm an attorney, and I think it's a good thing. Actually, I'm happy that I am who I am.
So I ended up taking Dee out to Kansas to visit her mom in this nursing home.
She read her a poem, she read her a letter. She kind of confronted her, but also just shared her feelings, and she was able to kind of move on.
And now she's in her 3rd year of college. She has a job. I mean, we really saw it all the way through. It's really inspiring.
It's a new experience. It changes their lives. Oliver Wendell Holmes said, "A mind once open to new ideas never regains its old dimensions." And I think that that's true for what we have invented. With it comes a whole new sense of growing up. It's leaving the past behind. And that's the new idea that expands the mind.
I feel I've come a long way. I want to be a really successful member of society. I know a lot of people have higher aspirations. They want to be rock stars or actors or professional football players, and I just want to be a good person. I just want to live my life and help people out when they need help and start my own family and just be happy.